Hello everybody, this is your Peacekeeper with another video in the How to Play series for US Destroyers. This is the Clemson class of destroyers. The Clemson class is basically a product improved Wix class, and it features a number of slight upgrades. Obviously, some of them didn't make it into the game. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The Clemson class is most noted for its twin 4-inch gun mounts, something which only existed on two Clemson class destroyers, the USS Hovey and the USS Long. In terms of actual changes from the Wix class, it's quite simple. We have a larger rudder to improve our turning circle over the Wix. Interestingly enough, not in this game. Both have a 520 meter turning circle. Thanks, Wargaming. There was also provisions for external fuel storage to improve the range, slight changes to the superstructure, and the provisions to mount the 5-inch 51 caliber guns, which existed on 5 destroyers. So why Wargaming chose to give us the dual 4-inch mounts, I don't know, but it's still a very interesting ship in game anyway. Of the total 162 planned destroyers, 156 of them actually existed. Awesome. Huge class of ships. Huge class of ships. Let's get to talking about her in the game. She has 10,900 hit points. Yep, still not a whole lot of armor. As we were talking, they have the twin mount 4-inch guns. There are 8 of them in total, 4 mounts in the 1-2-1 configuration. They do have an 8.6 kilometer range, which is painfully short. For those of you who are looking to play the Clemson long-term advanced firing training, this might be one of the few ships in the line that I'd actually recommend it. She does have the 4 triple torpedo tube launchers, 2 on each side for a total of 6 on each side, and they have a 5.5 kilometer range, 56 knots. So a little bit more range than the Wix, about the same speed. I think they also do a touch more damage. 1173, yep. It does have AA guns. Woo! We've got a 76.2 millimeter cannon shoved right there on the back end of the ship, and we have 250 cals. Oh, they're both up front. Yeah, don't expect much in the AA department. It's a while before the U.S. destroyers actually start getting some decent AA. In terms of speed, she has a 35 knot top speed, a 520 meter turning circle, and a 2.8 second rudder shift time. In terms of ship detectability, 6.8 kilometers as detected by other ships, and 3.1 kilometers by air. In terms of our upgrades, man, these haven't really changed, have they? Main armament mod 1 and damage control systems mod 1. Those are going to be pretty much staples for the rest of the ship line, so should not be too terribly surprised. Now, in the video that I'm going to show you guys, the captain hadn't been fully retrained. In fact, it wasn't until after that video that the captain finally was finished retraining. So I was playing that game without situational awareness, without basic firing training, without superintendent, without last stand. You can go ahead and imagine what that's like. It's painful. I promise you, it's painful. That said, it's a great video. Let's get to watching it, because it shows a lot of the things that make the Clemson class worth playing, which is awesome gunplay, workable torpedoes. Even though they're not capable of being fired stealth, you can actually use them to engage ships, and, well, who doesn't love putting their iron fishes into the sides of enemy ships? So, on to the battle video! Alright. As you can see, we are in a tier 4 fight. Well, it's a 3-4 fight. And teams, lots and lots of them juicy battleships. Now, if I remember correctly, this game ends up being in the mid-50s 100,000 damage range. So not like some huge game like that Wix game was just ridiculous. But it's still a pretty good game. It shows a little bit of how those dual 4-inch mounts work out. And it shows some of the more stronger suits with the ship in terms of its maneuverability. Now, there are 2 carriers on both sides. We have a Langley and Hosho. They have 2 Langleys. They've got Miyogi's in South Carolinas. We've got Wyoming's in South Carolinas. They have a Phoenix Kuma. We have a Phoenix and a Karlsruhe. We have a Tenru versus St. Louis. Man, I would have taken the St. Louis. 2 Iziaslavs versus a Clemson and an Iziaslav, and then 2 Wicks on each side. So, relatively balanced teams. I actually thought they were really well balanced. In terms of actual gameplay, well, it was a good fight all the way till the end. It was a very good fight all the way till the end. And if I remember correctly, we end up winning out on cap points rather than on actual ships sunk. So, we're going to go to C because we've got ourselves our Wix player over here. We are going to run into the Iziaslav pairs. Now, I'll be honest, the Iziaslav is no slouch of a ship. It really is not. The Russian DDs in this game are just unbelievably powerful with their guns, and I think the poor Wix ends up bearing the brunt of the onslaught. But, you know, that's alright. It looks like our team is having some disagreements on exactly where we're going to go, and I'm finding that this is a stereotypical beginning of a match. Nobody has any idea where we're going to go, and even when we do decide on where we're going to go, nobody goes there. You'll notice everybody says, no, push B. Push B, push B. Yep, who's going to B? No one. Yeah. Right. Alright, so we're getting into C. Let's get around to this, alright? Let's go. Come on. Interestingly enough, you know, the Clemson does have a very good speed to it. Phoenix on the horizon, Miyogi on the horizon. Interesting that the aircraft kind of hover out of range. But at this point, as you remember, I didn't know that I'm spotted. Now I do now, but I didn't before. Now, with the configuration of these guns, you can fire some of these guns forward. As you'll see, I'm trying to get that one side gun to shoot, but it's a little difficult. However, once you start the gunplay, it does start to pick up. I mean, there's a lot of advantages to these twin mounts, and without basic firing training, it's a little annoying. One of the things that is incredibly annoying on this is the fact that the ship can actually outturn its gun mounts. That makes for playing very, very rough when you're trying to do these knife fights. That's a trait that the U.S. destroyers will soon get rid of. In fact, the next ship in the line is definitely one that allows it, and that is the Nicholas, which is a totally different and interesting ship. Oh! As you can see, we found the other Iziaslav, so let's go ahead and throw some torpedoes in the mix. Neither one of these 2 Iziaslavs are really within range, but we'll throw them out there just to see what happens. Of course, in these lower tier matches, you definitely want to be very cautious about where your friendly's torpedoes are at, because friendly torpedoes are not. They hurt bad. Now, I lose that Iziaslav, but we've got other targets that we can go ahead and shoot at. I could have swore I was going to get him with those torpedoes, but he crawled on out of them anyway. We'll keep on our fight as I mute my cell phone. And the gunplay, you know, using cover is very important, especially when it comes to these early tier destroyers. Using that cover helps you set you up for so much more than just the gunplay. It helps you a lot with the torpedo play as well. But once you come out of it, look at how tight these guns. I mean, the rate of fire isn't super high because I don't have the basic firing training in, but it's fast enough. Let's finish off this other one. Might as well. I'm really not worried about that Phoenix. He ain't even paying attention to me at this point. Fine by me. Oh, now he's paying attention, but he's shooting AP at me. Pro tip, AP on at destroyers generally doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but we're getting our wig and wag going on here, trying to get these front mounts to go. Boom! He's down. Now you see how much damage that Iziaslav did. That was pretty impressive. Knocked out my engine, and like I said, no last stand. Because the captain was in the midst of retraining. It actually ends up saving my life. I don't know where that single torpedo came from, but it's pretty interesting in and of itself. Also, there's no armor, so don't expect to bounce any shells, ever. And you'll notice I switched to AP, and allow me a moment to explain. I just recently did a test in the test training room, one which I will most likely be doing a video of, that shows that destroyer AP against cruisers is actually mildly useful, and here I am testing out these 4-inch guns to try and see if they actually are viable. Now, I have learned that they are not. 4-inch AP just doesn't cut it. I need that extra inch. Yes, that's what she said. Need that extra inch from those 5-inch 38s, or the 5-inch 51s, which I think is what we end up with on the Nicholas next, in order to really do a lot of damage. So going back to HE here. Now, yeah, okay, that was a really bad torpedo drop. Hey, give him props for trying. I mean, it's a good skill for a carrier captain to learn. But we're going to continue to hurt. Oh, there he goes. So, Mr. Miyogi, ignoring me, I appreciate that. If he wasn't ignoring me, he missed me by a lot. We'll go ahead and start you on fire just for fun. One of the more frustrating aspects with these 4-inch guns is that the fire percent chance is very low. In fact, it's that way for pretty much all of the low caliber guns in the US. Yep, more friendly torpedoes launched from behind, so let's make sure we are paying attention. And we are still taking a beating, and quite honestly, this is not the direction that you want to be going. You don't want to fight a battleship that is running from you. We simply just aren't fast enough, especially since it's a Japanese one. We simply aren't fast enough to actually take advantage of and overtake this poor Miyogi. So we're going to slow down, do a little bit of sitting plinking, use our guns to do some more damage. We've already got 22,332 and several fires. Oh wait, no fires yet. That's not me. Uh-oh. I'm out of the smoke. Run! Run, little Clemson, run! We do finally get our fire, though. Only took us, what is that, 30? Oh, 34 hits. We'll just call it 34 hits for the sake of it. 34 hits to get one fire? Man. Okay, so we got a St. Louis. Whoa. Miss me. We got a St. Louis over here that we are going to help take out. St. Louis is going to be a little bit easier to take out with the support that I've got. So we'll go ahead and focus him down. Removing cruisers from this game is always a good thing, especially when you are in a DD, because they are your natural counter. Now, I can't tell if he's shooting at me or not, but we're going to go ahead and keep on trying. Got him! Most excellent. Now, this Miyogi, you know, he's far enough out. I'm sure I'm detected, so we will make sure that we are constantly varying our stuff until so that we don't get some, I think they're 12 inches or 14 inches, so we don't get some battleship shells and finishing us off. That's always bad. Now they're capping A, so let's retaliate. Let's cap B. And this is, you know, the aerial detection range on this thing being 3.1 kilometers is pretty nice. Those dive bombers didn't even know I existed, which I am totally fine with. I have no desire to be dive bombed into oblivion at this point in time. Interestingly enough, I have no idea where their other destroyer is at. In fact, I don't see him for the rest of the game. Looks like he's basically dead anyway, so when they do find him, he ain't gonna last long. Now this Miyogi, I wanted him. I thought long and hard about making the suicide run to catch him on the backside. Oh no, we need to keep the cap. We need the points, so we'll go ahead and keep the cap. But once we get close enough, we'll start heading over there. Uh-oh. There goes their Langley. One carrier down, one to go. B is captured. Let's make our run on this Miyogi, shall we? Uh-oh. 19K Rice is saying we lost. I don't believe it. I don't think so. Carrier spotted. Oh yes. Miyogi will have to wait. In fact, the Miyogi really isn't... he's not really a good target for this. If you look on the minimap, he's... I basically will never get a good shot on him because the island is always in the way. So we're going to take advantage of this poor Langley over here. We're going to put him out of his misery. Especially since... Oh no, he's going to go that way. So we will go... In hindsight, I should have just kept going this straight. Would have worked out better, but we're going to put an island between us and their enemy fleet because I don't know where that other destroyer is at, and I don't know how close or if I'm even visually within range of any of their other ships. Now this poor Langley is already on fire, so adding some torpedoes to finish him off, well, that's just the coup de grace. You can tell that he is not exactly in a hurry. He shot me! What a jerk. Jeez. Alright. And there's the kill. There's a random lone torpedo. I'm assuming that's from that torpedo bomber up there, but it would have got him had I not gotten him first. Now, because of the current situation with all of the other ships, it seems like suicide to try and go back to B. It certainly seems like suicide to go north, so we're not going to go there. We're going to go towards B, because north is just as suicidal as south, and B is just as... it would be suicide if I went any direction, so... Well, we're going to go to B. We're going to try and stop the cap as much as we can. I did see that there was that South Carolina there coming through the channel, so I figure, why not, right? We'll get some torpedoes into him and hopefully take him out of this match before the end of it. Of course, with 940 points, it's going to be a bit of a struggle to do so. Uh-oh. Kuma spotted. Nope. Since I've been spotted by the Kuma, we're just going to go ahead and go around the corner. Now, my hope is that the South Carolina is just going to keep on coming around, but, yeah, I don't think we're going to get him. Yep, Kuma's a turn-in, so, nope. We'll launch him anyway, just to be sure, and we're going to complete this turn and use this opportunity to hopefully take advantage of our poor Kuma. Torpedoes away! And sit and plink! We're at 2 clicks out. Might as well put some HE into the side of him, too. Well, we traded each other. I'm good with our current trade system. As you can see, 54,000 damage done, so not a whole lot, but enough to demonstrate. Hey, we got Confederate from it. And apparently I didn't show any of the other screens, so... Anyway, this has been your Peacekeeper. This is the Tier 4 Clemson video. If you guys have any questions, throw them down in the comments section. Or if you have any other comments, throw them down in the comments section. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.